A fellowship.
Hey guys, Yoiston here, and I hope you all are doing well, wherever you are in Middle-earth. I had the pleasure of seeing the new Tolkien film early for review, and this was the video that I was referencing at the end of last week's video, hoping that I would be able to release it this weekend. And here we are. Now this will be a spoiler-free review of the Tolkien film, seeing that it has not been released everywhere yet, and I know, how do you spoil a biopic? Well, even though we know or can research Tolkien's life story, this film tells the first part of his life in such a way that I do not want to spoil it. With that said, let's begin our tale. This film is directed by Dom Karukowski and stars Nicholas Hoult and Lily Collins as J.R.R. Tolkien and Edith Bratt respectively. Now, in the past couple of weeks, there has been a bit of controversy and misunderstanding surrounding the Tolkien estate and its views on the film. Some articles have presented this as the Tolkien estate disavowing the movie completely, but it's not as harsh as it sounds. It seems the Tolkien estate did not endorse or support the film, but that is far different from openly opposing the film, as the Tolkien estate has not supported or endorsed any of the Middle-earth films that we've come to cherish over the years. I just wanted to clear that up a bit, and I will leave a couple of articles in the description that relate to this. As for the film itself, I must say that I really enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure to watch. You all know what I look for while reviewing media on this channel. I know that certain elements of an adaptation must be changed from the original source, but I believe that the themes, characters, settings, and stories that are told by Tolkien and his life must remain true, and if they are, they respect the professor and his works. I believe that the movie wholeheartedly does this. The themes of courage, love, and fellowship are very prevalent throughout the course of the film, and the story that is told is very faithful to Tolkien and his life, despite there being some changes that are natural in creating this genre of film. As I watched the movie, I often looked for references in Humphrey Carpenter's Tolkien biography, and honestly, this is one of the most faithful biopics that I've ever seen. Going beyond that, there were also many parallelisms depicted in the film between Tolkien's life and his stories that we all know and cherish. Particularly, fans of the Silmarillion should be happy with this film. Again, I won't spoil anything, but just be on the lookout for parallelisms between certain major battles and characters from the Silmarillion within this film. They blew me away and made me enjoy the movie even more. The Aragorn-Arwen-Elrond dynamic or Baron Luthien-Thingol dynamic also seems to be a driving archetype within the film as well, which brings me to the point that you can see many of the inspirations for Tolkien's works within this movie. The film heavily depicted Tolkien's love of mythos, languages, art, music, religion, and trees as well, which I believe is very accurate and respectful towards Tolkien's life. The film also heavily features the love of Tolkien's life, Edith Bratt, and concerning her specifically, the movie does make some changes from what actually occurred in their relationship. But they did this for good reason, to bring all of the meaningful aspects and people of Tolkien's life together for an incredible and coherent film. And I actually really loved what they did with Edith in this film. Both Nicholas and Lily did great jobs in their performances. And I can't forget about the supporting cast. They all played their roles very well and faithfully. The fantasy elements were interlaced well with history, and the fantasy and monsters that Tolkien would go on to write about were used as symbols for other things like war in the film. The movie does not shy away from the more sorrowful or darker aspects of Tolkien's life either, nor should it, for those elements were indeed a part of Tolkien's life as well. As for the technical aspects of the film, I thought that the camera work, cinematography, lighting, special effects, sound editing, music, costumes, and sets were all really well done as they work within this smaller and more personal film. They almost always made me more engrossed in the movie and never really pulled me out of the experience, except for maybe a few moments with some of the CGI, but those moments were few and far between. With all of that said, there were a couple of very minor issues that I had with the film. There were definitely some biopic tropes used throughout the movie, and there were certain character moments for Tolkien that I don't believe happened or would have happened from what I know about the author, his temperament, and his life. However, to make an entertaining and well-paced film, these moments were necessary, but I do understand how some people may not like these elements. Overall, this was a truly amazing film, and since I know you all are fans of Tolkien and his works, I implore you all to go see the movie as soon as you can. You won't be disappointed. I've heard criticisms that the movie does not present his religion or spiritual faith, and I have to disagree with that. While Tolkien's religion isn't the center point of the film, it definitely plays a part in the movie, and we can also see how it contributed to his upbringing just as his financial status did also. It was really a great film that, at its heart, was about fellowship, and if I had to assign a rating to it, I would give it a 9 out of 10. After seeing this film, I promise you'll leave the theater with a sense of joy and wonder. Thank you all so much for watching and for joining me today. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and share this with a friend so we can spread the message about this new movie. Since the film isn't out yet, let me know what you're excited for and hope to see in it in the comments below. Near the end of this month, my friend Royan and I will make our next podcast episode on Patreon, and we'll be sure to talk more in depth about the film there, and we might even do a live stream sometime soon where we can all talk about the film together after everyone sees it. To support the channel, please check out our music channel, Facebook, Twitter, merch, and Patreon in the description below. And if you are new, please subscribe and hit that bell button to join the Men of the West and all of the Free Peoples today. And I'll see you all again next week with a video on some similarities and differences between The Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, or The Song of Ice and Fire, since the Game of Thrones show is coming to an end soon. As always, everyone, thank you all so much for joining me on this adventure. Until the next one, my great friends.